Hello and welcome to my channel. If you are new, I am so over the moon that you found me, and if you've been here before, oh my god, you came back. My name is Alonda Carter and I am the Recovering Hunbot. I create daily anti-MLM videos, which include stories shared with me through my Google form from my subscribers. There's a link to it in the description. I also examine what Huns are doing on social media, so if you enjoy anti-MLM content, you might want to consider subscribing. This video is about Beachbody's flagship product, Shakeology. As a former Beachbody Hun, I feel it is only fair for me to turn this product upside down. So if that sounds good to you, grab some coffee, tea, or whatever floats your boat and come with me. Alright, when I started investigating these various companies, what I have done is look at basically, the corporate structure, look at the people who are at the top, look at the founders, look at the leaders, the executives. So here we have Carl Daikeler, John Congdon. They are the co-founders of Beachbody. We also have Michael Neiman. And then we are going to also look at Jeff Hill. Carl Daikeler, like I said, he is one of the co-founders. He is chairman and chief executive officer of Beachbody LLC and Teleamerica Media. According to the Beachbody website, he has over 25 years of extensive product marketing experience, including every aspect of the direct response business, from creating products to advertising, media buying, operations, international distribution, and general management. He has absolutely no presence on LinkedIn, which to me is very odd because, how can you verify anything that you're being told that he has experience in? Because you just don't find it. Okay, so then we have John Congdon. He is, like I said, the co-founder. He's president and chief marketing officer of Beachbody. He helps guide the mission of the company and works to drive its vision and growth. There is nothing about his career on LinkedIn, nothing that is pre-Beachbody. I also find that to be odd. What is the mystery? Why can't we see where you worked before, what your background is? That to me is a red flag when I cannot find anything. And then we have Michael Neiman over here. He is the division president of network marketing for Beachbody LLC. Prior to coming on board with Beachbody, he was the vice president of sales and initiatives for Herbalife. He also has a background in theater arts. So I found that very interesting that there always seems to be a connection to other MLMs. Big surprise. And here's a big one, Herbalife. And it makes sense to me about his background in theater arts because he does a lot of he's very funny in the videos. And so it was always like, how is he able to do that? Well, now it makes sense. Now I know what his background is. Okay, here is Jeff Hill. Now, every Monday there is the, quote, National Wake Up Call. Jeff Hill is always on that call. He lives in Provo, Utah, and is the chief sales executive of Beachbody. He also has a law degree, and he was a partner at Hill, Harrison & Hill, where for 9 years he focused on business litigation. But we also find that he has an historical connection to MLMs. He worked for Tahitian Nani International, now known as Morinda, I think I'm saying it correctly, which markets various products from the Nani plant. I don't know if I'm saying Nani correctly or not, but that's what we're going with. He was also the president of Shakely International, which is another MLM that produces and distributes supplements and various other products. And he was the senior vice president of sales for Melaleuca, which is another MLM, which is basically an online shopping club. But I do find it interesting that he has a background in law. So do you think that would come in handy in his position? Of course it would. One of the things that I've started doing when I'm looking at these companies is like, well, who's creating these products? Can I find anything out about the creators of the products? Now, according to Beachbody, Shakeology was created in a partnership by Darian Olien and Isabel Daikeler. Isabel is the wife of Carl Daikeler. one of those co-founders of Beachbody. So my question is, who are these people? What can we learn about their background? And what can we learn about what this shake contains? Okay, this is Isabel's, profile on LinkedIn. As you can see, there's not a lot there. And again, to me, always that's kind of like, why not? Why can't I see anything? There's not a lot of information really, like on Facebook, other than, she is the co-creator of Shakeology and Ultimate Reset, which is another Beachbody product, 3-day refresh, and she's an advisor to Beachbody. Well, what does an advisor do? What's that? And here we see experience, consultant, formulator, and formula and exercise programs. What's that? That tells me absolutely nothing. On the Beachbody website, some of the information you find on her says things like she is a nutritionist and personal trainer, and she holds a Bachelor of Science degrees, one in kinesiology from College Francis, and the other in sports psychology from UCLA. Her certifications, we are told, read like a best of the best list, but you can't find out what they are. There's not a list or anything somewhere that I can go and see other than what we're told on Beachbody, and it goes into more detail than what I'm saying right now. Now, I'm not saying that, what is on the Beachbody website is total BS, but I'm saying it's very odd that you can't verify anything. You can't find anything out about her when conducting a simple Google search other than what Beachbody says. And that to me, it just smells. Okay, so now let's look at the other co-creator, Darren Oline. He is said to be an ingredient hunter who travels the world to find perfect ingredients. According to Goodreads, he is the author of Shakeology Books 1 and Book 2. However, I can't find any existence. There's no evidence that this book exists. So it's like, okay, well, that's interesting. Where is that? I don't know. I have no idea. I also find it interesting when we look on the front of this book, because he did write Super Life. This is written by Darian. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But at the very top, this is Tony Horton has a little blurb, and he is someone who works for, I don't know if he works for them all the time, but he is one of these super trainers for Beachbody. And down at the bottom of this book, it says super food hunter and creator of Shakeology. But then we were also just told that, Isabel had a partnership in it. So is he it? Is she it? What's going on there? I'm not really sure. It's a little confusing. It's a little sketch as far as I'm concerned. I don't know what you think, but I'm going like, it's just not clear. So according to Amazon, it says that in this groundbreaking, this book, in this groundbreaking health and lifestyle guide, the superfoods expert, nutritionist, and creator of Shakeology provides the key to understanding and utilizing the 5 life forces, the sole factors that determine whether or not we will be healthy, fit, and free of illness. In Super Life, Darren Oline provides us with an entirely new way of thinking about health and well-being by identifying what he calls the life forces: quality nutrition, hydration, detoxification, oxidation, and alkalization. Gosh, am I saying these things right? Okay, when you look him up on both Facebook and on LinkedIn, you can find information, so that at least I go like, okay, well, that gives me something to look at, and we can see that he has, he has studied a lot of things. Now, it doesn't say whether or not he has a degree in these things. Studied Master of Art, does that mean you have it or you don't have? It's like, did you just study it? What are your actual degrees? I'm not really sure. It's a little bit like, okay, what does this really mean? But at least I can see that, he's had a background in this stuff, that he has taken time to, fill his brain with some information. So according to everything that I find, he is the owner of Darren's Naturals, LLC. It is described as a source of optimum health, private formulators of supplements and raw foods for some of the largest companies in the industry. So that makes me think Did his company actually come up with this Shakeology formula? And if so, where does Isabel fit in? Sharing our unique insights, direct indigenous health knowledge, raw superfoods, herbs, and sustainable practices. Okay, so there's one thing. Then he's on the advisory board of Raincatcher, which was founded in 2009. That's the same year that Shakeology came out. So I find that interesting that, it was at that same time, and it was, a nonprofit organization. But the thing is, the website doesn't work. It's just like defunct. And I'm like, well, isn't that interesting? Why doesn't it work? And with these things, with these dots are not connecting, it just makes me pause and go, what's going on there? Were you paid money and then you funneled it into the Raincatcher? And what was going on? It just seems a bit strange to me. Don't know what happened, but it just, it sends up red flags, makes me question. Don't know exactly what those questions are, but I just go, So anyway, we are told through Facebook that it is a nonprofit corporation that provides sustainable drinking water solutions around the world. But the website doesn't work. So, there's that. Then he is the owner of Superlife. That is the same name as his book. And this company on Facebook is described as focusing on cultivating truly balanced health by offering information about our food, discovering new superfoods, and committing to helping you live your best life. Wow, live your best life. Isn't that an MLM expression? Also, we are told that since 2005, he has successfully sourced more than 300 foods and ingredients from around the world, working directly with people of Peru, Bhutan, the Amazon region, the Himalayas, the South Pacific, and many other countries in Latin America, Asia, and Africa. He is also the Director of Nutrition of Totamed Group International, which according to their website is a biotechnology company developing stem cell therapies to treat degenerative diseases and technology platforms to connect patients to world-class care. Also, the last thing we're told is he is the co-founder of Baracus Incorporated, which I found a link from his superlife.com website. Baracus appears to be a nut that is described as a mix of almond, cashew, and peanut, but with less calories. Now, he appears to be the real deal in terms of he has, a background in different things. It looks like, he studied the American Botanical Council, American Herbalist Guild, all these types of things, the University of St. Thomas, exercise physiology, fitness, nutrition. It looks like that, he does have a background in this stuff. At least we can see this. But the thing that you don't find is that there's no scholarly articles or peer-reviewed journals of any of this stuff. There's no evidence that he's actually conducted, any research. And when you are making all these formulations and stuff, wouldn't you think you'd be doing research and writing about it? I mean, to me, that would seem to make sense, that you'd be presenting your findings in conferences or something, and that there would be evidence of that somewhere. But there's not. There's just not. So my guess is that he's a figurehead, the face of someone who can talk the talk because of his background, and that he is hired just to do that. Because he's at, the Beachbody conference, he's at that, and you can hear him. He does a lot of videos, so it's very appealing. It sounds all very legit, but he's not a full-time employee at Beachbody, and I just think he's being paid to produce the videos and to speak at these events, and nothing more. That's it. Okay, something I did find is that Beachbody has a scientific advisory board. The information about each member that I'm going to present to you is, from the Beachbody website. I did not go into let me just break down who these people are. But I did that for a reason. Now, what we are not told is, what do these people do for Beachbody on a regular basis? I don't know. they have this board, and there's people with names, obviously, and there's pictures of these people, right? And so it appears to be, like, oh, this is on the up and up, but I think it just kind of leaves you hanging. To me, this is just kind of, it's smoke and mirrors. So we have Dr. Marcus Elliott, and according to the website, he is a Harvard-trained physician and exercise scientist, widely regarded as a world leader in performance enhancement and the care of elite athletes. Dr. Francis Stevens is an assistant professor in metabolic and molecular physiology at the University of Nottingham, England. Dr. Nima Alamdari, I may have just butchered that, is a Harvard-trained scientist and director of scientific affairs at Beachbody. Dr. Michael Ballack has studied the relationship between plants and people, the field known as ethnobotany, and floristics, the study of botanical diversity within a specific region. Dr. Mansoor Samad, I'm not going to be able to say it, is a microbiologist with extensive experience in public health, microbiology, food safety, food production, and epidemiology of food-borne illnesses. So again, this appears to be on the up and up. There's only one person that appears to work at Beachbody, and that is Dr. Nima Alamdari. Again, I probably am not saying that right. So, it's like, okay, what do we know about this little group? Are they meeting? We can read that they have this, expertise and everything. They have the background. It says on the website. I'm just going to say, okay, these are legit professionals, but okay, but what is it really telling me? Not a lot. And the reason why I am skeptical is this. Several years ago, this happened after I was laid off, after I went through breast cancer and I was laid off because I had a very high-paying job as an instructional designer. And, I was, at the time, I thought I wanted to create my own instructional design company. I'm so glad I didn't do that. Anywho, but through, I don't know if it was from a membership, because I was on this thing with Slack, also very active on LinkedIn, but somebody contacted me, and it looked like she was putting together a company, and the company would outsource instructional designers, or people would work in teams. It was, kind of this thing where she was looking for professionals that could appear on her website. So she asked me, like for my picture, for my background, and it was put on her website. So to me, I kind of look at them, I'm like, is this the same kind of a thing? Is it just, pictures of people with their background, but they're not actually really doing anything with Beachbody or with the products Beachbody is producing? Because I go back again, it's like when I start looking for scholarly articles about any of the products, nothing is found, but that's not unusual for any MLM and their products. You don't find any research, on this stuff for the most part. Okay, this is from FAQ 290 through Beachbody, and it's asking about whether or not Shakeology has gone through a clinical study. And we are told that there was research through an independent clinical trial that was sponsored by Beachbody. A total of 50 subjects were instructed to consume Shakeology as their breakfast and lunch each day for 12 weeks. No other restrictions were placed on diet or exercise, so the participants were able to maintain their lifestyle over the 12-week period. Researchers conducted extensive before and after medical testing at baseline, 4, 8, and 12-week intervals, along with detailed patient interviews, which validated the comprehensive health improvements experienced by the participants in 12 weeks. However, 50 subjects is not statistically significant, and it's like, where is this article? Where can I read about that? So guess who kept on doing some digging? When I looked on Google Scholar, I was able to find 2 different articles. So I found evidence that there was some research done, because there are 2 things that are published through the FABEB journal, which publishes peer-reviewed multidisciplinary original research articles, as well as timely editorials, reviews, and news of the life sciences. Now, I think the first one, the one on top, is the study that Beachbody is referencing on their site. There were 50 participants, 25 men and 25 women. The result states that 38 individuals completed the study. There was significantly greater reduction in VAS ratings of hunger, desire to eat, and composite appetite score, and a trend for reduction in ad libitum energy intake when subjects consumed the dietary supplement compared to the isocaloric placebo. The study was funded by Beachbody. Now, the second study is also funded by Beachbody, and it indicates that all varieties of Shakeology evaluated tested for a low glycemic index. There were only 10 subjects in this test. Now, I'm glad to see that there were some studies, but the issue I have with these studies is that they are not independent. They are at independent labs or whatever, but the research wasn't conducted by anyone. I mean, the hypothesis is going to come from Beachbody. And when you create your hypothesis, guess what? You're going to want to have it validated, right? So, and then it goes back to, all right, your sample size. You don't really have enough people for it to be statistically significant. It just isn't enough. There's not enough information, but they're trying to make it say, I have to give you a little bit of kudos, Beachbody. At least you went through the effort in an attempt to make it look like everything is legit. Just not really so sure about all that. To me, because Beachbody is the one that came up with the hypothesis, and even though they shipped it off to somebody else, here, do this test, they had a low sample size. That, to me, is a red flag, and I feel that it really skews the results. Beachbody is billed as being a superfood shake, and Daryl Lean is the superfood hunter. But what exactly is a superfood, and should we care? Basically, it is a marketing ploy to there's value in something, that it's nutritionally of value. So here we have the definition, the medical definition of superfoods, a non-medical term popularized in the media to refer to foods that can have health-promoting properties, such as reducing one's risk of disease or improving any aspect of physical or emotional health. So-called superfoods may have an unusually high content of antioxidants, vitamins, or other nutrients. Examples of health-promoting foods that have been referred to as superfoods include soy, blueberries, salmon, green tea, walnuts, broccoli, and spinach. It is important to note that there is no accepted medical definition of a superfood. And then according to Wikipedia, superfood is a marketing term for food assumed to confer health benefits resulting from the exceptional nutrient density. The term is not commonly used by experts, dietitians, and nutrition scientists, many of whom dispute the particular foods have the health benefits claimed by their advocates. Even without scientific evidence or exceptional nutrient content, many new exotic and foreign fruits or ancient grains are marketed under the term or related term superfruit or supergrain after being introduced or reintroduced to Western markets. In 2007, the marketing of products as superfoods was prohibited in the European Union unless accompanied by a specific authorized health claim supported by credible scientific research. Doesn't that make you just go, huh? And we are told that Shakeology is your daily dose of dense nutrition. The low glycemic index, they're saying they got that. And I am going to say that I did not hate taking Shakeology. I could not stand the chocolate flavor. I thought it just tasted like butt. It was just nasty. Other people like the chocolate. I prefer the cafe latte. That's me. When you look at the ingredients of Shakeology, which I will be showing you, they look impressive, It's like, wow, there's all this stuff. But you have to remember, all of our nutritional supplements are unregulated and they're often ineffective. Oftentimes, it's the placebo effect. The health claims made by Shakeology cannot be verified and are based on testimonials, which are people's opinions. Overall, there are insignificant amounts of multiple plant products that are mixed with protein, and none of which come anywhere close to duplicating the health benefits of actually eating whole plants, like real food. So here are all the ingredients of Shakeology. Woo! Like other MLM products, what you are told on their website, what you're, led to believe, it sounds really good. It sounds impressive. But remember, they have teams of marketers. And they also, Beachbody received training from the Sheffield Group, and they're still a client of the Sheffield Group. And if you watched video number 22 that I did, I broke down how the Sheffield Group teaches you how to create an MLM. And, they have a host of other professionals all rallying around them when it comes to all of this stuff. Now, what I want to share with you next is going to be what the Mayo Clinic has to say about, supplements, because I started looking into the proprietary, quote, superfoods down here at the bottom. And, like for instance, the whey protein isolate. Most people can get enough protein from a varied diet. It's the Arello cherry. WebMD says health benefits are due to vitamin C. The Camu WebMD, there's not enough reliable information to know if it is safe or what side effects it may have. So when you start really going down this, little rabbit hole, all of these things put in there, it's like, does it really mean anything? What are you really being told? So let's take a look at, what we are going to be told by the Mayo Clinic. And the Mayo Clinic to me is going to have more weight than what Beachbody says. Sorry, Beachbody. To help us really wrap our heads around, this whole thing when it comes to supplements, I went to the Mayo Clinic and I found, an article there about nutrition and healthy eating and what we need to know about supplements before you buy them. Because I think it's really, really important for us to remind ourselves that, having answers about all these different ingredients really is important. What you are being told because of how things are being marketed may not be the full truth. In fact, they're marketers, they're advertising. It's not going to be the full truth. They're going to spin it so that it sounds really good. Echinacea to prevent colds, ginkgo to improve memory, flaxseed to lower cholesterol. The list of herbal remedies goes on and on. Herbal supplements, sometimes called botanicals, are one of dietary supplement available for purchase. Herbal supplements aren't new. Plants have been used for medicinal purposes for thousands of years, but herbal supplements generally haven't been subjected to the same scientific scrutiny and aren't as strictly regulated as medications. For example, although makers of herbal supplements must follow good manufacturing practices to ensure that supplements are processed consistently and meet quality standards, they don't have to get approval from the Food and Drug Administration before putting their products on the market. Yet all herbs, including herbal supplement products labeled as natural, can have medication-like effects. Anything strong enough to produce a positive effect, such as lowered cholesterol or improved mood, is also strong enough to carry risk. So it's important to investigate potential benefits and side effects of herbal supplements before you buy. And be sure to talk with your doctor, especially if you take medications, have chronic health problems, or are pregnant or breastfeeding. Are herbal supplements safe? Herbal supplements are regulated by the FDA, but not as drugs or as foods. They fall under a category called dietary supplements. The rules for dietary supplements are as what follows below. Manufacturers don't have to seek FDA approval before selling dietary supplements. Companies can claim that products address a nutrient deficiency, support health, or are linked to body functions if they have supporting research and they include a disclaimer that the FDA hasn't evaluated the claim. Companies aren't allowed to make a specific medical claim. An example of a specific medical claim might be, this herb reduces the frequency of urination due to an enlarged prostate. Manufacturers must follow good manufacturing practices to ensure the supplements are processed consistently and meet quality standards. These regulations are intended to keep the wrong ingredients and contaminants out of supplements, as well as to make sure that the right ingredients are included in appropriate amounts. The FDA is responsible for monitoring dietary supplements that are on the market. If the FDA finds a product to be unsafe, it can take action against the manufacturer or distributor or both, and may issue a warning or require that the product be removed from the market. These regulations provide assurance that herbal supplements meet certain quality standards. The FDA can intervene to remove dangerous products from the market. However, the rules don't guarantee that herbal supplements are safe for anyone to use. These products can pose unexpected risks because many supplements contain active ingredients that have strong effects in the body. For example, taking a combination of herbal supplements or using supplements together with prescribed medication can lead to harmful, even life-threatening results. So it's important to talk to your doctor before using herbal supplements. How do you know what's in herbal supplements? The FDA requires that labels of all herbal supplements include this information: the name of the herbal supplement, the name and address of the manufacturer or distributor, a complete list of ingredients either in the supplement facts panel or listed beneath it, serving size, amount, and active ingredient. If you don't understand something or a supplement's label, ask your doctor or pharmacist for an explanation. An easy way to compare ingredients and products is to use the Dietary Supplement Label Database, which is available on the National Institutes Health website. The database has information on ingredients for thousands of dietary supplements sold in the United States. You can look up products by brand name, uses, active ingredient, manufacturer. Okay, so now we are on the Dietary Supplement Label Database, and you can search for ingredients, products, and manufacturers. So let's search for Shakeology. All right, so obviously I've searched for it before. There we go. No records found. But I did look for a plexus, and it is there. So I find it odd that Shakeology is not there. So now I'm going to look for manufacturers, and I will look for Beachbody, and let's see what happens. Well, I actually already looked for it before I recorded this, so I know it's there. So we know there's 17 products. Okay, so what are those products that are actually listed here? Okay, can we find Shakeology? It's not there. Okay, go to the second page. Not there either. Isn't that kind of weird? I thought that they're all supposed to be here. Since we couldn't find Shakeology in the Dietary Supplemental Label Database, I went ahead and emailed them, and I asked why it's not listed. I will let you know what I find out. Overall, I just want you to realize that you cannot take what you're told to be factual information of the things that you're fed to by the MLMs. They're going to put a spin on it the way they want it to be. It's important, I feel, to look at the people who are behind the products, how those products are made. I drank Shakeology for a very long time. I followed orders to be a product of the product because that's one of the vital behaviors as a Beachbody coach. I didn't find anything in it to be revolutionary. My appetite wasn't suppressed, and cravings for sweets weren't reduced. In another video, I shared with you how Huns, Beachbody Huns, seek advice from each other. And that happens throughout from one MLM word issues to another. To find out if Shakeology is helpful, I mean, insert, any other product, Plexus Slim, Herbalife, whatever. The distributors of those products, the independent contractors, the Huns, if you will, rely on each other as their information source. They're not doing research on it, They're going into groups and asking questions, thinking that what they get is, the information they need. They are really only parroting what they've been told. A truck is going by, so you may hear that. What they've been told by Beachbody, the people who are the faces of Beachbody, Isabel and Darian, and what their upline has to say about it, who has been fed a narrative from corporate. So I hope this has helped you, wrap your head around, do some digging on your own. Now, when I was in full throttle Hun mode, I didn't question anything. I just accepted what I was told about the products. That's what most people in MLMs do. They just accept it because, that information is coming from an authority figure. So you're thinking, okay, they're going to tell me what I need to know, and what they tell me is correct. You just accept what you're told. Kind of like when you're a little kid and, mom and dad says whatever, you just accept it because, that's the authority over you. This narrative that you're told about any product, be it Shakeology, Plexus, Herbalife, whatever, insert product, that narrative is very polished by the perpetrators of it. They look the part, they sound the part, and hence you take what they have to say as gospel. And this is why you just cannot dissuade anyone who is in Hun mode. They cannot hear what you have to say. I see a lot of posts where people are telling Huns that they are in a pyramid scheme. And I mean, it can get mean and nasty. It really can. And to me, this really does no good. That only gets the Hun to dig their heels in more, because, it's just like when someone tells you that somebody is bad for you in terms of a relationship. You're just going to prove them wrong. Well, it's the same way with the Huns, okay? I think it does more harm than good to really be confrontational with them. You know what I mean? You've heard that expression about, drawing more flies with honey than vinegar? That's the approach you need to take. Use some honey. If you can't hold your tongue, then block messages, In my opinion, it's really better not to engage than to be in a battle of wills. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this content. I've enjoyed presenting it to you. If you enjoy anti-MLM content, I hope you'll consider subscribing, hit the notification bell, and give this video a thumbs up. If you care to submit any memes or posts or anything like that, you can email those to me at therecoveringhunbot@gmail.com. Also, if you want to share your story, your Hun story, your story of being in an MLM, there is a link to a form that I use. It's a Google form, and you fill that out, and I will craft your story from that and share it. So that would be great if you could, because I really like getting these stories. These stories really add that human touch that we all need to know. There's real people involved. I appreciate you spending some time with me, and remember, if you want there to be change, it's up to us to share our stories, get the word out, because the more that we do that, there's power in numbers. I invite you to file a report with the FTC, the SEC, and your state authorities, which can vary from state to state. For me in Texas, is the Attorney General. I don't know what it is internationally, and you guys will just have to Google it. Most people just want to go into that good night, put that MLM experience behind them, and I get that. MLMs are counting on the fact you will not take action. But just imagine for a moment that all these governmental entities started receiving complaints, started receiving reports about each MLM every single day, Monday through Friday. I think that would be very powerful and send a clear message that there is something rotten in Denmark. And remember, change starts now.